When I think about the moment I became a school leader, nobody gives you a blueprint or a manual in terms of how to lead. You're pretty much on your own. Yes, people will congratulate you, they will give you a good luck, but at the end of the day, it is your job to truly figure out how to actually lead. And the reality is that so much of what you actually need to know to be great in your role doesn't actually show up in the job description. So today I want to talk directly to aspiring school leaders, those of you who are preparing for your first school leadership role. I want to tell you exactly what I wish I knew beforehand. Stay tuned. So the first thing you need to know is that your presence is going to walk into the room before you do. Now, at the end of the day, you being an instructional leader is going to be extremely important. However, who you are in terms of how you show up is going to speak louder than your words. Teachers are going to look to you for clarity, for confidence, and for consistency. They're not looking for perfection. And that's one of the mistakes that a lot of aspiring school leaders think, that they have to be perfect in order to actually step into their first school leadership role. But that is actually not true. See, the truth is that you showing up in your authenticity is what actually is going to attract the people who belong to you, who are going to be for you, who are going to support you. And you have to be true to yourself, because if you're not true to yourself, you can't be true to anyone else. So the truth is your presence actually matters more than your title. So before you step into school leadership, I want you to think about a few things. How you enter a meeting, how you respond under pressure, and how you show up when things go wrong, because that's going to be your true measure of success. How do you respond when things go wrong? How do you respond when things don't go your way? Because the most successful leaders are the ones who are flexible enough, have a level of emotional intelligence to be able to handle and withstand situations and circumstances that are not ideal. So what are you going to do? Are you going to break? Are you going to fold? Or are you going to understand and really embrace the fact that your presence really does matter more than your title? So point number 2, you're managing adults, not kids. And that's really where the complexity comes in, because think about it. We are adults and we are sometimes, not all the time, but we can be stuck in our ways. We can be stuck in our previous patterns of thinking. We can have, and we all have developed these mental models, these ways of doing things. And sometimes we don't want to be flexible, right? And sometimes we don't want to take correction or direction from other adults. It brings a different set of complexities. And you might think that, yes, we're all adults and we should be able to handle conflict a certain way, and we should be able to handle direction a certain way, and we should actually be focused on the same mission at all times. But guess what? That's just not true. That's where leadership comes in. And you cannot run from being a leader, because leadership means that you handle difficult problems, you have difficult conversations. And not to say that things won't be smooth at times, not to say that this won't be the most rewarding position that you walk into, because it's going to be. I believe that it's going to be for you. However, there will be challenges and you have to be ready to face them. So yes, adults are going to bring a different set of complexities when it comes to you leading and managing. But guess what? You can do it. I know that you can, but you do need to make sure that you are properly preparing yourself, that you have the level of support that you need so you can make sure that you get to the next level, and not just get to the next level, but actually stay there and make the impact on teaching and learning that you know you can make. So as you start to prepare for interviews and you really start getting into looking at your resume and deeply diving into cover letters and looking at the different districts that you want to, or that you desire to join as a school leader, you have to have a leadership story. Your leadership story is what connects your regular, your daily, your life experiences to the reason why you wanted to become an educator, the reason why you want to become a school leader. It's not enough for you to just read your resume. People can read that, right? It's not enough for you to just look at your resume and say, because I have X amount of degrees, I should be able to land this role because I have a certain number of years in teaching and education. That in and of itself is going to help me land that first leadership role. You're going to have a rude awakening if that's what you believe. Yes, it helps, but at the end of the day, leadership, you being a leader, is very different from you being a teacher. So I want you to think about why you want to lead. What are the beliefs that ground your leadership? Who have you learned from? Who do you glean from? Because everyone has a different leadership style. And I'm not just talking about you being an autocratic leader or a laissez-faire leader, right? Those models that we've all studied in our leadership programs. I'm talking about you getting into who you truly are as a person, because who you truly are as a person is going to be amplified when you become a school leader. So if you are somebody that's selfless, it's going to be amplified. If you believe in servant leadership and actually supporting and developing your teachers, it's going to be amplified. You are going to be a trusted source of information, of transformation. So what is going to drive you? Think about those beliefs now, because when your interviews come up, you want to be able to properly articulate who you are and the leader that the district can see that you're going to be. So point number 4 is leadership is 80% emotional regulation. And what I mean by that is there are going to be plenty of times where people are going to come at you with an emotional reaction to whatever it is that you have implemented, a decision that you've made, something that they've heard. But at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to make sure that you don't respond with the same level of energy that you are receiving. You have to be grounded so much in who you are, have a level of emotional intelligence that allows you to take in the information, withstand some of the heat that is coming to you, but still respond in a way that is professional, respond in a way that is tactful, right? Respond in a way that is democratic so that you can actually show the leader that you are. I'm not saying that you take any disrespect. I don't want to suggest that. And if that's what you're hearing, that is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that you have to have a level of calm, a level of ease to your responses when people are being emotional, because it is going to happen. And the best leaders are the ones that are stable. The best leaders are the ones that are poised under pressure. So who are you going to be under pressure? Emotional intelligence is key in leadership. Listen, if you cannot manage your emotions, the role of leadership is going to manage them for you. As a school leader, you're going to be dealing with district pressure, data demands, staff drama, unexpected parent conflicts, teachers being disgruntled in your office about a decision that you made. So how are you going to handle those things? How are you going to keep your emotions in check when people disagree with you, when you're dealing with a crisis? Because people are looking to you in those situations as well. Everything is leadership, and I need you to start thinking about it in that way. Everything is leadership. So as we come to the end of this episode, I want you to understand that these are some of the things that I wish I knew before I stepped into school leadership. One of the things that I think carries me to this day, that I truly believe in, and this is the last point, is that visibility matters. Visibility is one of those things that allows you to connect with people. You cannot truly say that you are a leader if you're not visible. You cannot lead from your office. People have to see you, and not just see you, you have to engage with them. Check on your teachers, check on your students. How are they doing? What instructional needs do your teachers have that you are able to support? What initiatives have been started in your school that you can actually bring in somebody that's an aspiring school leader so you can teach them the way once you land your role? See, here's the thing. When you become a school leader, I don't want you to abandon other people. I want you to take other people with you. Never forget that you should be mentored by someone, but you should also be mentoring someone. Bring somebody else along. We cannot do this work alone. It is essential to the progress and the overall development of our students. If you are someone who needs additional support as it relates to resume development, as it relates to really crafting a tangible cover letter that's going to gain the attention of districts, if you're looking for interview prep, if you're looking for someone who's going to help you navigate the interview process and you can bounce ideas off of one another, reach out. Let's have a conversation so that we can get you to where you know you need to be. And guess what? That's leading and developing other people. You have the skills. All you need is additional support, and that will take your game to the next level. As always, I hope you have a great week of teaching, leading, and learning. Take care.